My December trading recap. This month I made just over $8,500 in total from my small caps trading, which is all manually executed, but it's all based on data, and I try and do a systematic trading kind of style for all my small caps trading. Now, I will be going over my futures algos at another point. I did a tweet recently on them, and I plan to do a video on them as well. I'm still in the process of learning even more about kind of portfolios of algos and the essence. So to kind of create a good video and a value-packed video, it will just take a bit more time. But as always, these kind of trading recap videos are a bit more ranty. It's mainly me expressing my thoughts and feelings over the month, and also kind of going through a review process, going over the stats, the equity curve, and generally my kind of main notes and progress I made this month, or any mistakes I made this month as well. I hope your month has been great, and let's get straight into this. So at least for my equity curve, this month in small caps was, to be honest, quite rough. For a lot of the previous months, I guess the last 2 months, I have been green, but I have mentioned pretty much in every single one of them that most people have been finding small caps quite challenging, and at least for me, I can definitely feel the same. This month was where, at least statistically or stats wise, my numbers would definitely hit. Still, really great month. I'm definitely happy with 8,500. Now, as the day I'm recording this is the 29th, or the morning of the 29th, so I still got the 29th to trade and the 31st. If I lose on both those days, then I'll be down to about $7,000 in profit, and if I win, then that, I'll put a tweet out if I do win, or if the trades are good. But realistically, it's about a $7,000 month at the worst if I lose both the next 2 days, or it should be around 8,500 or plus. We can see for a lot of the beginning of December, I was kind of treading water. We had some initial profits, but realistically, I wasn't getting really anywhere. I was making some progress and losing it and kind of getting back up again, until the later half of the month, where I had a couple big winners, and that really pushed me up over that kind of 8K area. I thought I was going to get to 10K, but then I took a loss legit today. So overall, it's fine, but realistically, really happy to still be green during this kind of tough market environment for a lot of people. Now, on stats wise, as you can see, the biggest profit has made up for a lot of the gains this month, $3,140. This was on FYBI. I'll go over this trade in actually just a second, as it is my largest winner for the month. My largest loss was $709. So this month I actually pushed my size from $650 to $700, which was, I was really happy with it. I think I'll touch a bit more on it about how it's kind of difficult to push it, but realistically, I'm still happy that I accomplished it. And the $9, or basically $10, was slippage as well. I had a profit to loss ratio of 2.5. I had 16 total trades, with 9 of them being winners, 7 of them being losers. My average return was about $534 a trade. I had 3 consecutive wins, which is sort of standard for me. I guess it's at least easier to hit, but 3 consecutive losses is actually quite surprising. It's still, can happen. I think the stats are like 10 or 20% of the time I can have 3 consecutive losses, which is still quite high realistically, but I haven't seen it for a while, so this was actually surprising to come across. And then the biggest one is 56% win rate is quite low for me. At least statistically, based on my backtests and Monte Carlos, I should be going around a 60 to 65% win rate. And in the recent months, I've been doing like 70 to 72%, which has been, quite high. And this has just been the standard deviation below that, basically. I've just got a 56% win rate. Took a lot more losses than I intended to, I guess, or I thought I was going to. All of them were by the book. I didn't really make any mistakes on them, so I'm very happy about that. But just this month was a bit more of a losing month, but I was still able to end green. My largest winner was FWBI. As you can see, I entered pretty much at the open and exited at end of day. Now, 2 key things with this trade. First, I initially thought I was going to get stopped out. My stop was 13% or 14% from my entry, and it got very close. I think it was between like 10 to 15 cents close to my stop, so I was getting prepared to have a stop out day that was going to be instant and just kind of move on with my day. Then I saw it basically instantly reject and hold down, so that was a big surprise, and then it continued to hover around VWAP, and at this point I was like, this is probably going to reclaim, and it's going to be a loss anyway. So I had my stops ready for when it reclaims above VWAP. I was kind of watching it from 11:30 to like 12, but it never did. It got a surprise. I think it was an offering, and it held it all the way down, and we closed at like 5:40. So overall, insane trade. I had a couple people ask me how did I like hold for this long. I wasn't really planning to. As I was mentioning, I really was planning to get out if it crossed above VWAP and we started to see that kind of squeeze move, which I really expected. And if I was trading fully discretionary, I probably would have got out 11:30 or 12 o'clock ish, because realistically, it really looked like it was going to push, and it was in the market environment where it was going to push. But then it held it down, and luckily I didn't take any discretionary action here. And then I just held it into end of day. So once I saw it hold down, I pretty much looked away from my screen, went out for like an errand, and then came back, and then tried to not look at my brokerage really at all until end of day. Obviously, I still had stops in place and my range orders, and then I came back at end of day and kind of closed it. And it was a great day. I think I got some pizza because it was like $3,000 in a day, which was insane for me. So incredibly grateful for this trade, but it, to be honest, made up just for a lot of the losses this month. So I think if it was a good month, this definitely could have been, $10,000 a month or plus. But realistically, it's just how it is. It's with trading. None of the distribution is uniform, so just take them as you get them. For my largest loser, realistically, it's not that bad of a case. It's just basically my risk. So I entered basically at open and got stopped out straight away. So it's pretty much what I was expecting to happen on FWBI. And I'm overall quite happy with my execution here. I didn't have to do much, to be fair. I just had an open entry order, and then I had a stop loss, and it got hit. I got a bit of slippage, but overall, this is just a good showcase of like, not every day is like FWBI. A lot of days are like this, where you get stopped out in the morning or something like that, and then it actually fades later on. If I just traded this discretionally, maybe I would have won this one, but then on FWBI, I probably would have cut losses. Cut the win way too soon. So I just try and stick to my systematic kind of route of trading, and that's how I go about it. But at least for losers and risk management over these past, well, pretty much 2023 has been the biggest year for me for risk management. 2022 was still a decent year, but my risk management was not as clean as it has been this year. I've been able to push bigger size and stay like kind of disciplined with my execution, whether that be not undersizing or not oversizing, and getting out and not over trading any times really. So I've been incredibly happy with my performance, at least on that standpoint for 2023. I'm going to do a 2023 kind of yearly recap video, maybe just a bit shorter, but a couple keynotes of what I've improved in, what I really need to focus on in 2024, or at least what I'm planning to. But yeah, this is just my largest loser. Overall, nothing too big to show. Now, for general notes, I've kind of touched upon these already a bit, but it was the most amount of red days I've had in a while, and I think that's for a long while. I don't think I've had 7 red days in like at least a couple months. My lowest win rate in a very long while. I've not touched a 56% win rate in at least, I would say, 6 months, probably, if my memory serves me correctly. So it was hard to overcome these mental kind of hurdles of dealing with a slower month, or I guess more of a losing month. For a time, I really did think this was going to be a red month. I just thought it was going to keep on happening. I was going to keep on losing. Statistically, I knew at some point it's going to have to turn around, or maybe it doesn't have to. This month could be just a red month, and it could just be a drawdown month. I will say, I was talking with some of my trading buddies about this. Like, once I saw people start really doubting gappers was when I started to be really convicted on them. I wanted to make sure that I didn't get any sort of recency bias or get motivated or influenced by other people saying that you have to change your strategy now, it's not working anymore, you're taking too many losses. And that just motivated me to stay convicted and stay true to my execution. Because realistically, a month of losses, at least in my opinion, statistically, you can't draw anything from that. Like, it's only a month. Like, if you do a 5-year backtest, 1 month of drawdown is very normal for most strategies, especially for a gapper strategy is very normal in general. So I knew I could lose this whole month, and still at the end of the month, I would still have to execute the exact same as I did in the beginning of the month. So I knew I was just going to stick true, execute how I'm supposed to execute, and if it's a losing month, it's a losing month. That's how it is. But apart from that, there's no other way that I was going to start, getting recency bias in the middle of the month and change my parameter value, and then the next month I'm actually going to lose more because of this month I saved maybe a bit more on profits because I changed these values. But realistically, that's just I've already played that game. I've played that game in my first year. I played that game sort of in my second year, and it never works. And I've done all the literature reading. I've done my own testing. I've worked with so many traders now where I just know that isn't how you win, at least for this style of trading, statistical trading. So as you can hear, I'm just getting quite convicted on that, and that's helped me at least push through this month, because as for many other small cap traders, it's been tough. It's not been enjoyable. But that's the game you play when you get into trading, and you're going to have losses and you're going to have drawdown months. So that's why I just try to do and stay convicted to my execution. I also increased my position sizing even with the doubts, so I'm very happy about that. Increased it from 650 to 700, and hopefully next month we'll push it to 750, maybe even 800. We'll see. At the moment, the goal is to get to 1,000, and once I get to 1,000, I'll probably take a while off pushing any more size or adding more size to it, because 1,000 is kind of where I want to get to at the moment. Now, for position sizing, as I've kind of mentioned before, it really depends on what works for you. I definitely do believe, and I've had long conversations with this with a couple of people, that percentage of your capital is probably the best route to go. If you want to do compounding, if you want to get the best results, if you want exponential growth, you should do percentage on your capital. Personally, for me, I couldn't do it. I didn't like the changing in size every single day. It just made me uneasy. I couldn't execute as well. Maybe in the future, I'll be able to fix these problems. These are inherently just problems with my trading. But I do believe in trading overcoming or playing to your strengths rather than trying to overcome a weakness is sometimes the better move. Not always, but sometimes, because if I can just play to my strengths here and just increase in increments and get it done without having to go through like the whole year of trying to battle with myself about, increasing size as a percentage, that's actually going to get me more progress in the long term than trying to battle it for a whole year, where it could even make me a losing trader for at least a year, or unprofitable trader. So that's just my opinion on that. But hopefully, that continues to work, and then maybe I can move over to a percentage or something that's a bit better for compounding wise. I'm so excited to apply all the learnings and kind of improve in 2024 as I have in 2023. As I mentioned, I'll do a 2023 recap. I'll probably include some of my futures algos as well, or at least some kind of notes I've taken from them. I'm still new to the portfolio kind of like algo games. I've done a lot of singular algos. I've developed a lot of singular algos for myself and other traders, but running a portfolio, it sounds simple, but there is a lot of other kind of like things that come into it. To be honest, the biggest one is defo capital allocation. Correlation is also not the easiest thing to work out sometimes. So I've been reading a lot more literature on it. I've been improving a lot and kind of been going through a rapid growth phase, at least on that extent. I did a recent tweet on it, and I think I'll try and condense that tweet into a video and kind of give a bit more notes and a bit more context around it as well, for people that are interested into algo trading, or at least futures as well. At some point, I'll try and touch upon the topics in algos in small caps. I think I've touched upon it in quite a lot of tweets, but I'll leave that for a video because it is a pretty long conversation of why I think algos and small caps can be amazing for some traders and then awful for for other ones. So it's not always the way to go, at least for that. Now, I gotta say, I am incredibly blessed and so grateful for everyone that's been, paying attention to my tweets or YouTube. I think we recently hit like 3,000 subscribers on YouTube, and we're now at like 11,000 on Twitter. I really never thought people would, listen or enjoy my content this much. I just try and do it as I've learned so many things from other people, and I really hope one day I can be someone like that, where you can take learnings off me and from my experiences, whether that is good or bad. So you can either learn from me of, oh, that's definitely not what to do because he absolutely failed doing that, or you can take it from that, hey, he saw some success with that, maybe I'll try it and see how that can help me. I've learned from both those type of people in real life and trading. I've learned from a lot of scammers or people that have failed in trading and taken lessons from them, or have decided trading is not for them. And I've also learned from so many amazing traders who are incredibly gifted is not the right word. They're just incredibly motivated, incredibly well disciplined, incredibly well executed in their trading. And to be honest, those have been the biggest influences in my trading. As I've said many times, I'm not a unique trader. I've taken things from so many other people and then turned it into my kind of own style, which I guess inherently turns me a bit unique, but realistically, all the knowledge I've learned is from others, and very small amount of things have been originally kind of created by myself. So once again, thank you for everyone that subscribed or followed on Twitter. Massively appreciate it, and I hope to create even more content that you guys enjoy, or at least value posts that you can learn from for your own trading. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please like and share it with anyone else who might be interested.